Crypto fam, what's good? Welcome to pod episode number 1111 of the Crypto News Alerts podcast. In today's show, Cathie Wood's ARK Invest adds more Bitcoin exposure as GBTC and Coinbase stock hits new lows. That's right, ARK Invest scoops up bargains as Coinbase shares hit new all-time lows and GBTC trades near a 50% discount to the already suppressed Bitcoin spot price. In breaking news, Bitcoin hash rate hits a new all-time high as Bitcoin price prints a new cycle low of $15,500. Also in today's show, bankman-fried and FTX execs reportedly spend millions on properties in the Bahamas. That's right, at least 19 properties worth around $121 million were reportedly purchased under FTX's name, Sam Bankman-Fried's parents and senior level executives. Also in today's show, FTX crisis leads to record inflows into short investment products. That's right, the aftermath of FTX's collapse has soured crypto investor sentiment with record inflows into short investment products last week, according to CoinShares. Also in today's show, Genesis will go bankrupt without fresh funding, according to this latest report. However, Genesis denies these imminent plans to file for bankruptcy. Quoting them here, "We have no plans to file bankruptcy imminently. Our goal is to resolve the current situation consensually without the need for any bankruptcy filing. Genesis continues to have constructive conversations with creditors." However, research shows Genesis received over $1 billion worth of FTT from Alameda and FTX in the last 3 months. That's right, an FTT. Also in today's show, former Goldman Sachs executive Raoul Pal says he is bullish on XRP, citing its real use cases and network effects. Also in today's show, hedge fund billionaire Bill Ackman reverses his stance on crypto after years of skepticism. Quoting him here from a recent tweet, "The telephone, the internet, and crypto share one thing in common. Each technology improves on the next in terms of its ability to facilitate fraud. As such, I was initially a crypto skeptic, but after studying some of the more interesting crypto projects, I have come to believe that crypto can enable the formation of useful businesses and technologies that heretofore could not be created." Also in today's show, I'm going to be discussing with you a $12,000 Bitcoin price bottom. In fact, between $10,000 to $12,000 with a $175,000 high followed within the next year following that low. Quoting the analysts here, Bitcoin has made a 77% correction in this bear market compared to 84% in 2013 and 83% in 2017. Studying our previous cycle high versus lows, we can estimate that the low for this bear could be between $10,000 to $12,000 range, followed by a high of $175,000 between 2024 and 2025. We'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market, all this plus so much more in today's show. Welcome everyone just tuning in to podcast episode number 1111, a very special omen here of the Crypto News Alerts pod. I'm your host, JV, and today is November 22nd, 2022, and the Bitcoin price just printed a fresh cycle low just yesterday, and we're currently trading just above 16,200. Welcome everyone to just tuning in. Let's start by checking out Coin360. As you can see, the market is starting to pump once again, along with some alts, including Matic up over 6-7% for the day. We got Litecoin surging up 14%. We got Chainlink in the forest green. We got Curve DAO token. And as you can see, Bitcoin up about 1%, trading above 16.2. Ether up 0.3%, trading above 1100. And Binance Coin up 1.7%, trading above $264. And checking out CoinMarketCap.com, the current market cap sitting at $804 billion with 68 billion in volume in the past 24 hours. So the volume back on the rise with the Bitcoin dominance at 38.7% and the Ether dominance at 17.2%. And checking out the top 100 cryptocurrency gainers in the past 24 hours, Curve DAO token leading the pack up 20%, trading at 6 cents, followed by Litecoin up 14%, trading at $70.48, followed by Chainlink up 10%, trading at $6.41. And below that, we have Aptos and the Trust Wallet token. And checking out the top 100 cryptocurrency gainers for the past week, you can still see we're in a sea of red, unfortunately, with just a handful in the green, including Litecoin up 20%, Ape up 8.6%. But as you can see, big losers, including FTT, yet down another 23%. for the week. And checking out the Crypto Greed and Fear Index shows we're currently rated to 22. And Extreme Fear yesterday was a 21, last week a 22, and last month a 23 in Extreme Fear. So there you have it. Welcome once again, everyone just tuning in to today's live show. We have so much to cover. So without further ado, let's dive into today's Bitcoin technical analysis. Bitcoin firms share a major buy for asset manager ARK Invest in the midst of this FTX meltdown. The latest data confirms that ARK continues to up its holdings of both exchange Coinbase and the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, better known as GBTC. And with the FTX contagion still ripping through the crypto industry, ARK's decision to add exposure to two firms caught the firing line, and it stands out. According to numbers supplied by Kathy Wood's dedicated track and resource, Kathy's ARK, the firm, added 176,945 GBTC shares on November 21st, which was yesterday. These join a larger tranche of 273,327 shares from November 15th. That purchase was completed just a week after FTX fell apart, and since then, GBTC has come under the spotlight as their parent company, Digital Currency Group, DCG, battles FTX problems of its own. Coinbase is, meanwhile, another target for ARK. Since the start of November, the firm has added 1.3 million coin shares, taking its total stake to 8.374 million, near all-time highs. Now, coin shares now account for ARK's 12th largest position, and commented on the FTX debacle in the latest newsletter, ARK acknowledged the potential implications for DCG company Genesis trading and warned that other counterparty entities may be next, quoting them here. That said, our conviction in decentralized and transparent public blockchains is as strong as ever, and nonetheless added, in this case and others, decentralization and transparency are paramount as antidotes to the gross mismanagement associated with centralized intermediaries, not to mention fraudulent centralized intermediaries. Now, regarding the Bitcoin price action, it continues to decline 2 weeks after problems at FTX spiraled out of control. Bitcoin just printed a fresh low yesterday. Data from Cointelegraph Markets Pro and TradingView shows, which you can see here in the Bitcoin 1-hour candle chart, the Bitcoin/USD pair dropped to 15,479 on Bitstamp after the Wall Street Open, recovering only slightly to circle around 16,200 at the time of this recording. Now, Coin itself also hit a record low at the same time, while equally embattled GBTC retained the majority of its discount at over 40% versus the Bitcoin spot price despite ARK's buy-in. So there you have it. Also breaking news, the Bitcoin hash rate also just hit yet another all-time high. And as I shared, the lows for this cycle are currently in at around 15,500. Do you think we're likely to drop even lower? Let me know your thoughts in those comments right down below. I think it's important to actually to discuss where do you feel that this cycle low will likely be. Let me know. We're going to be covering that in great detail later on in the show, so stick around. But without further ado, now let's dive in to the fact that Bankman-Fried and FTX were purchasing over $100 million worth of properties in the Bahamas using your money. The latest revelation from the FTX case reveals that the Bahamian properties worth millions were bought in the company name. FTX at the time operated by Bankman-Fried. His parents and other high-level executives of the company reportedly purchased at least 19 properties in the Bahamas just over the last 2 years. Now, collectively, these purchases have a worth of over $121 million, according to Reuters' report of the official property records. And among the acquired properties were 7 luxurious condos, while the residents of the condos remain unknown at this time. The property deed claims they were to be used as residences for key personnel of the defunct exchange. And additionally, a property worth $16.4 million has Bankman-Fried's parents, Joseph Bankman and Barbara Fried, as signatories. The deed allegedly had the property designated as a vacation home, I bet, with documents dating back to June 15th of this year. And according to original reports, a spokesperson for the couple did not answer the question as to how this leisure property was acquired and if any FTX funds were involved. Only the couple had been trying to return the property to FTX prior to the bankruptcy. Since before the bankruptcy proceedings, Mr. Bankman and Miss Fried had been seeking to return the deed to the company and are awaiting further instructions. Now, FTX moved its headquarters from Hong Kong to the Bahamas in September of last year, which was purchased for $60 million and had a groundbreaking ceremony in April of this year. The official channel of the Prime Minister of the Bahamas released a video of the ceremony. However, according to reports from a recent property visited by media outlets, the space has been untouched for months, and as the liquidity crisis and bankruptcy scandal unraveled, Bahamian authorities had Bankman-Fried and two former associates at the former exchange under supervision in the country, where they still allegedly remain today. Now, court documents filed after the initial bankruptcy notice revealed the company may have over 1 million creditors in total. You can't make this stuff up, folks, with over $3 billion collectively owed to the 50 largest creditors. And yesterday, November 21st, the U.S. Senate committee announced a scheduled FTX hearing for December 1st, which is around the corner next week, during which the head of the Commodity Futures Trading Commission will testify. But I like to point this out, that regulators had a documented over 10,000 hours of disclosed meetings with Bankman-Fried himself. That means regulators and FTX were working together to fraud the public. FTX and Alameda, make no mistake about it, was an inside job. So something I've been tweeting recently, FTX was without a doubt an inside job. Because how many times did Gary Gensler, the SEC head, chairman of the Fed, what's his name? Who's the chairman of the Fed? Let me know in the comments below. It just slipped my mind. But they were all meeting up. They had on record over 10,000 hours of meetings discussing regulations. So without a doubt, FTX was regulated. There's no question about it. So if the top exchange, the second largest exchange in the world, which was regulated by the authorities and regulators, collapse, it was an inside job. Trust nobody, verify everything. Just saying, you know what I mean? And with that being shared, now let's dive into our next story of the day as the FTX crisis and saga continues to unfold. Here we go. Institutional investors have responded to the negative sentiment caused by the FTX collapse with record institutional inflows into crypto-focused short investment products. According to CoinShares Chief Strategy Officer James Butterfield, 75% of the total inflows by institutional crypto investors for the week ending on November 18th were placed into short investment products, essentially a bet that crypto prices will decline, and lo and behold, that's precisely what's happening right now. Buttermill said that the take-up of short positions by investors is likely a direct result of the ongoing fallout from the FTX collapse, while the total assets under management for institutional investors is now at a whopping $22 billion, but still the lowest in 2 years. Over the week, $14 million was poured into short Ether investment products. CoinShares said it was the largest weekly inflow on record, and CoinShares cited renewed uncertainty over Ethereum Shanghai upgrades slated for September of 2023 and mentioned the sizable amount of ETH held by the FTX exploiter as possible reasons for the negative sentiment. Meanwhile, inflows into short investment products for Bitcoin hit $18.4 million. Bitcoin short products were reported to have an asset under management of $173 million, coming close to the $186 million high. Now, investors also seemingly drop in altcoins, with Solana, XRP, BNB, and Polygon Matic product outflows totaling over $6 million, and the newly reported inflows are a slight change from the week prior, which saw the largest inflows in 14 weeks, the crypto products totaling $42 million, although short Bitcoin products already started to see inflows of $12.6 million. The blockchain equity products recorded the largest weekly outflow since May of 2022. Meanwhile, the ripple effect of investor distrust for centralized exchanges is taking hold in traditional financial markets, with Coinbase posting an all-time low share price yesterday on November 21st, hence why Kathy Wood is buying it up. BTFD. Now, the crypto exchange's share price dropped about 9% on the day, slipping to under $41 according to Google Finance. It has now slightly recovered to around $41.20 at the time of this recording, but continued to trade at a slight 0.19% negative after hours. Meanwhile, Coinbase stock price is down almost 88% since it went public on April 16th of 2021. So there you have it. Do you think more carnage is likely incoming in the crypto sphere? Let me know your thoughts in the comments right down below, and how many of you are currently short, as many investors currently are at this time. With that being shared, now let's discuss one of the biggest stories in the crypto industry right now, and that's a potential bankruptcy of one of the biggest lenders, which is Genesis, which is attached to the contagion of the FTX fallout. Now, Genesis, the crypto brokerage platform that froze withdrawals just last week, may resort to bankruptcy if it fails to raise money from potential investors, according to people familiar with this matter. As reported by BNN Bloomberg, Genesis has spent the past several days attempting to raise $1 billion in capital from potential investors. This backs up a Wall Street Journal report from Friday, which claimed the trading firm was unsuccessful in its endeavor. That's right, meaning they're currently trying to raise this capital. Bloomberg stated that Genesis was in talks with Binance for a potential investment, but funding it is yet to materialize. Quoting them here, "We have no plans to file bankruptcy imminently," a representative for Genesis said in an emailed statement to Bloomberg. "Our goal is to resolve the current situation consensually without the need for any bankruptcy filing." Genesis continues to have constructive conversations with creditors. Also note that Genesis's lending arm froze redemptions last week from another arm of the company, revealed it had lost $175 million within FTX. The latter exchange filed the bankruptcy earlier in the month when it couldn't honor a flood of withdrawal requests made days prior. FTX now faces a reported shortfall of over $8 billion that it owes to depositors, which include retail clients, institutions, and celebrities alike. And the fallout has caused other firms to suspend withdrawals as well, including BlockFi and Liquid. The former is also exploring potential bankruptcy. Also, the digital currency group DCG's Genesis parent company provided the broker with $144 million in equity on the day of the FTX bankruptcy to help navigate its liquidity trouble. And the crypto market maker B2C2 also extended a hand to Genesis last Wednesday to purchase some loans from the trading desk. So there you have it. Meanwhile, they're denying their plans to file bankruptcy, but we all know, trust nobody, verify everything, and get your crypto off the exchanges. As the last place I would want my crypto right now is to be on any centralized exchange. Because you also got to keep in mind, as pointed out here by Whale Chart, Genesis received over $1 billion worth of FTT, which was the native token of FTX, in the last 3 months. We all know that this FTT token is now worth roughly $1 last time I checked. And prior to the bankruptcy of FTX, that was trading at above $20. So literally billions upon billions lost and gone forever. But with that being shared, once again, welcome everyone just tuning in to today's show. Now I want to discuss a little bit about the XRP bulls. As per the macro guru, Raoul Pal, who is very bullish on XRP, the macro expert and former Goldman Sachs executive, is expressing his bullish sentiment on the digital asset in a new Ask Me Anything video. Pal says that XRP already has utility and is being used in money transfers. According to Pal, the price of XRP could appreciate in the event that Ripple wins the lawsuit brought against the San Francisco-based payments company by the US SEC. But on the other hand, Pal says that the risk of XRP falling in price is relatively lower in case Ripple loses the lawsuit. Quoting the macro guru, "I have said this a gazillion times. XRP has a real use case. It is being used as a protocol. I think there is a gap risk higher if they get the ruling. There is no gap risk lower as much. There should be some speculation, but it is being used in a chain that is being used for money transmission, is a chain that has Metcalfe's law. So I have no issue with it. I own a small part. How many of you are also currently bullish on XRP? Metcalfe's law states that a network grows in value as the number of users on the network gets bigger. The SEC alleged in the lawsuit that was filed in December of 2020 that Ripple Labs has engaged in an illegal securities offering from around 2013 when XRP was launched. And according to the macro guru, individual investors in XRP were discouraged by the SEC lawsuit against Ripple, I'd say to say the least. Quoting him here, retailers held back because of the stupid SEC regulation, a ruling we're waiting for. So there you have it. And to watch this Ask Me Anything session with the macro guru himself, check the show notes below the video in the description. So there you have it. What are your thoughts surrounding this ongoing stretched out XRP versus the SEC case, which has suppressed the Bitcoin price since the end of December of 2020, which is very unfortunate for XRP holders because they delisted it from the majority of all the United States exchanges. I think Bitstamp is like one of the few exchanges you can actually purchase XRP nowadays. But because of that, it suppressed the price action. So a lot of investors lost tremendous amounts of money. While the SEC claims to be protecting investors, I think it is quite the opposite. I think they're protecting the people they're in cahoots with, the criminals like Bankman-Fried and, Ellison, and protecting those people, protecting the criminals they're doing criminal activity with, and going after the honest people in the space is what it seems like they're doing. It's almost as if the SEC was created to shake down good and bad actors, but work with those bad actors to take down the entire crypto industry and impose regulations that aren't in our best interest. And it couldn't be any more crystal clear to me. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below, as I greatly appreciate and respect all your opinions. With that being shared, now let's discuss our final story of the day, and that is a $10,000 to $12,000 price prediction low, followed by a high of $175,000 between 2024 and 2025, which is around the time of the next halving. I also like to throw out there, this is in alignment with the stock to flow model, which is also predicting a six-figure Bitcoin price after that halving of 2024. So let's break this down. But first, actually, we have to discuss our next story of the day, which is the I think I forgot to put it on the list here, but that's Bill Ackman, who actually says that he reversed his stance on crypto after years of skepticism. So first, let's actually break this down before we get into these predictions here. And my apologies for a little bit of the mix-up. Billionaire investor Bill Ackman has taken a completely different stance on crypto after being skeptical in the space literally for years. Ackman, the founder and chief executive of the hedge fund Pershing Square Capital Management, said crypto's ability to facilitate fraud initially drove his skepticism of digital assets. Quoting him here, "I was initially a crypto skeptic, but after studying some of the more interesting crypto projects, I come to believe that crypto can enable the formation of useful businesses and technologies that heretofore could not be created. The ability to issue a token to incentivize participants in a venture is a powerful lever in assessing a global workforce to advance a project." Now, the billionaire does note that the pump and dump scams are a problem in the crypto space and suggests that the vast majority of digital assets are being used for fraudulent purposes. Well, we all know, kind of like a gun, could be used for good or bad, but it's up to the person. It's almost like a magnifier, the same way I look at money. Money is a magnifier of a person and their true intentions. A good person will use money for good, and a bad person will use money for evil, like we witness all the time here, unfortunately, in the United States and all across the world. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. I feel crypto is the same thing. Bitcoin and crypto can be used for good, or it could be used for evil, nefarious purposes. It's up to you as an individual. But with that being shared, now let's dive into this $175,000 Bitcoin price prediction by none other than the London Crypto, who is a senior macro analyst. He says Bitcoin has made a 77% correction, as he shares in this tweet, in this bear market, compared to 84% in 2013 and 83% in 2017. Studying our previous cycle high versus lows, we can estimate that the low for this bear to be between 10 and 12,000 range, followed by a high of $175,000 in 2024 to 2025. And he shares this chart, which I'm going to open up here in just a moment, but he also shares, "I feel safe buying Bitcoin where we are at the moment, as we aren't talking huge percentage moves to the true bottom. In my opinion, altcoins, I am waiting a little longer, as I think more discounts are coming. Not financial advice." And with that being shared, let's actually check out this chart. And what are your thoughts surrounding this bottom price prediction that we can realistically hit a low of 10,000? Also shared in previous episodes, we have quite a few analysts, including Tone Vase, who says the bottom could be 11,000. We have the infamous troll himself, Peter Schiff, who has been calling for a $10,000 Bitcoin price. And considering we've already hit 15,000, what's another $5,000 drop, which would be in alignment to the previous capitulation from the previous halving cycles? But in this chart, what are your thoughts surrounding bouncing all the way to 175,000 as the next cycle high? Let me know your honest thoughts in the comments right down below. With that being shared, I want to welcome once again everyone tuning in to today's live episode of Crypto News Alerts. This is a very special episode, as it's number 1111, which has a special omen attached to it. And yeah, let's dive now into our live Q&A, which is one of my favorite sessions of the live show. And let's see who we have in the house with us today. And I'd also love to know your predictions. Where do you feel the Bitcoin price is likely to go for the cycle low as well as the cycle high? Now check it out. Welcome BitBud. It's good to see you. Fam, moderating and doing your thing here in the live chat. David number 23, welcome fam. Selling with Twins, welcome. Always good to see you. South Africa in the house. We got Crypto Monger and we have Chris Minka. Chris says many people think Bitcoin can go to 10,000 or so. I don't disagree, but with a daisy chain of exchange failures, you might not be able to buy at any price. You make a great point. That's kind of like what it is. When Bitcoin hits a new low, the exchanges go down and it becomes almost impossible to buy at that low. Do you think this is all design, or do you think this is just a weird coincidence? And let me know. Yeah, Matthew C., I appreciate you tuning in here live. Yeah, exactly. They see through the case. They don't like people making dough. I concur 100%. I don't think the SEC wants a wealthy population. I think they want to make investors as poor as possible. That's why you have Jim Cramer on the Money Channel specifically telling you the worst financial advice that you could imagine. Whatever he is pumping, more than likely, you should probably obviously do your own research, but I would do the opposite, because anything he says, the opposite occurs. If he's telling you to sell Bitcoin, I would be stacking sats at an all-time high. If he is telling you to sell XYZ stock, I'd be contemplating reasons why I may want to buy that stock, because, I mean, you tell me, am I crazy for thinking they want us to be poor? Am I crazy for thinking regulators, the SEC, and the government wants a poor population? Let me know your honest thoughts in the comments below. I appreciate it. Telengard says, doesn't matter how low it goes. I am stacking sats. That's what's up. Much respect. Matthew says, you're the best show on YouTube, JV. Keep up the good work, fam. Well, I appreciate that. And the greatest compliment you can do to show your appreciation is very simple. All you need to do is smash the like button as if it's Bankman-Fried himself. Smash it right now and then turn on all notifications and just make sure you're subscribed to the channel, as it helps out tremendously with the YouTube algorithm. Of course, Bitcoin Cal, shout out to you as well, fam. Paul says, diminishing returns, dubious speculation. I'd be happy with a 4 or 5x. From here, send it. Let's freaking go. I'd be pretty happy too. I mean, 5x Bitcoin, we're talking about 15, 30, 45, 60. We're talking about a new all-time high of $75,000. So send it. Telengard says, I like the bottom, but also like when they go down. And BitBud says, smash those likes. Greatly appreciate that, fam. Y'all the best. And who are some of your favorite analysts that you follow? Please let me know. I'd love to know which analysts are your favorite. Maybe I can do more coverage of them here on the show. And who knows, potentially even have them on as a special guest speaker would be pretty sweet as well. So let me know who you would like to see. Who are some of your favorite analysts right now in the market? Yeah, and Chris says, I use exchanges to stack Bitcoin. I've had trouble in the past buying dips, so I know how this game goes exactly. Tyler says, Will Smith, that like button. I greatly and graciously appreciate that, fam, as always. Yeah, this has been a wild roller coaster ride, to say the least, this year. I think it took a lot of us off guard. Coinfather says, I am not selling until at least a 10x on my Bitcoin. And he says, Garrett Soloway. So shout out to Garrett Soloway. That's what's up. And I appreciate that. I'd love for Bitcoin to 10x. Imagine Bitcoin 10xing from the all-time high. It will happen. I guess the real question is when, by what year, and what will hyperinflation likely look like in our economy by that time, as things are hyperinflating all around the world, not just in the United States. Benjamin Cohen, Tyler S. Crypto, and Crypto Zombie. I appreciate the feedback there. Crypto Fur Cardano. Much love. And crypto news alerts. Absolutely. CNA. Appreciate that for the CNA fan. BitBuzz says Garrett Soloway and Johnny Bravo. I'll have to check out Johnny Bravo. Garrett Soloway, I am a fan. I think he is pretty good at calling these bottoms as well. I know I heard him calling for 10,000 or 8,000 if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong. And Cal says, not that master of disaster, Soloway. So it seems we got some mixed feedback here. 10X. We got some laughing out louds here on that call. Dan says, Sir Isaac Newton. Question here, do you suspect that Gary Gensler will be put on trial for being in cahoots with FTX? That's a great question. Here's my honest two Satoshis. I think the criminals protect the fellow criminals. And criminal Gary Gensler is being protected by criminal organization, the SEC. Will he lose his job? Potentially, but he'll just be replaced by another suit just as crooked. So it's hopeless because the organization itself is crooked. I hope he gets put on trial. I hope he loses his job, and I hope he loses everything he has as a result for allowing this to go on. But at the same time, criminals protect themselves. That's why they're protecting Bankman-Fried. That's why they wrote a puff piece about him saying, oh, he didn't commit fraud. He just got in a little over his head and didn't recognize what he was doing. His math was wrong. Oh, he didn't have an accountant because he was so young and didn't understand how to run a business. Meanwhile, Kevin O'Leary has come out on the record and said his parents are compliance lawyers. That's why I feel safe in FTX. You can't make this stuff up, folks. So no, I don't think there's going to be any change. I think they're going to continue to try to regulate the crypto industry and make bad proposals, as they've been doing for a very long time, to try to stop and suppress the Bitcoin price, because Bitcoin is a direct threat to the central banking establishment, and don't let them try to convince you otherwise. Gary Gensler and the SEC, they're shaking in their boots about what's going to happen eventually with Bitcoin. So they're trying to suppress it, they're trying to stop it. And what better than bring a bad actor, allow them to commit all this fraud, and be in cahoots with them, work with them for over 10,000 hours on record, and then point the finger and say, we need more regulation. That's why this happened. No, this happened because of corrupt regulation. We don't need more regulation. We just need the freaking SEC to actually do their job, right? How do they get paid? It's probably your tax dollars. So why aren't they working for us? It's corrupt. It's unfortunate, but that's the reality that we live in. That's just my 2 Satoshis. Let me know your honest thoughts in the comments below. BitBuzz says some more dark-ish coming out. We going down for a while. Stock up on the essentials and stay safe. Sage advice, much respect. Paul says Plan B. Shout out to Plan B and Willy Woo. Also think Willy Woo is a great on-chain analyst. Andrea says yes, Max Kaiser and Kevin O'Leary. Bitcoin Cow says breed love. Corky says whole coining at $10,000. Bring it. How many whole coins would you buy at a $10,000 Bitcoin price? That's the question. SoloWay has been accurate, says Matthew. I like Invest Answers, crypto models. Cohen is good too. Raoul Pal is good for alts. That's right, because he's extremely bullish on alts, right? Andrea says Michael Saylor. Michael Saylor is the Giga Chad himself. I'd love to have him on the show. Definitely one of my favorite Bitcoin influencers and maximalists out there. Audit the SEC, says Crypto for Cardano. That's right, because FTX was an inside job. That's right. Thanks for you. Appreciate it. Well, much love to my crypto fam. Now for the big finish of what we shared here in today's show. For a quick recap, we discussed Cathie Wood's ARK Invest, adding more Bitcoin exposure as the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust and CoinShare stock hits new lows. Talk about buying the dip. And Bitcoin hash rate hit yet another all-time high as the Bitcoin price cycle low is in at 15,500. We also discussed Sam Bankman-Fried, the FTX execs reportedly spending millions on properties in the Bahamas using your money. We also discuss, as the FTX saga unfolds, the crisis leads to record inflows into short investment products. We also discuss Genesis will go bankrupt without fresh funding, according to rumors and according to this latest report. However, they deny those rumors and they say they have no plans on filing for bankruptcy, but at the same time, keeping in mind, Genesis received over $1 billion worth of FTT from Alameda and FTX in the last 3 months. Also in today's show, we discussed the macro guru, Raoul Pal, former Goldman Sachs executive, says he is bullish on XRP and cites real use cases as well as their network effects. We also discuss hedge fund billionaire Bill Ackman reversing his stance on crypto after years and years of skepticism, and also shared with you the London cryptos, $12,000 to $10,000 Bitcoin price floor for this cycle, followed by a whopping $175,000 Bitcoin high for this cycle between 2024 and 2025. But where do you feel the Bitcoin price is likely to go next? Let me know in the comments right down below, and I look forward to